There is arguably no more prestigious neighborhoods in Palm Springs than where Frank Sinatra, Cary Grant, and Truman Capote all chose to call home. I'm Glen Nadeau, and in this video, we're exploring why the Movie Colony has history baked into every aspect of its central Palm Springs half-mile stretch. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below. Let's dive in. Here's what most people get wrong about the Movie Colony. They assume it's some roped-off museum district you can only admire from a distance. The reality is that people actually live and buy here, and when the right home comes up, the right buyer moves quickly. You drive through and what you see from the streets are high hedges, artistic masonry walls, and the occasional towering palm. The homes don't perform for the curb. They turn inwards towards courtyards, pools, gardens, and sky. That deliberate privacy was built in from the beginning, and it's one of the defining characteristics that buyers either immediately understand or completely miss. This neighborhood isn't for everyone. The price point is premium, the inventory is tight, and the homes here carry a weight of history and architecture that demands a buyer who actually cares about those aspects. That's exactly why the right buyers love it. To understand the Movie Colony, you have to go back to New Year's Eve 1926, when the El Mirador Hotel opened its doors as one of the most glamorous resorts in the American West. Hollywood came quickly, studio executives and entertainers discovered they could escape the pressures of Los Angeles under what was known as the 2-hour rule, or 100-mile rule, a studio's contract stipulation that required actors to stay within a reasonable distance of the studios for emergency recalls. Palm Springs was the end of that limit, and so the migration began. Frank Sinatra lived at 1145 East Via Calusa in the mid-century modern masterpiece designed by architect E. Stewart Williams in 1947, known globally for its piano-shaped pool. During his marriage to Ava Gardner, this home was one of the social epicenters of Hollywood in the desert. Cary Grant owned a stunning 1930s Spanish estate on Avenida Palmas, where he hosted Alfred Hitchcock and Katharine Hepburn. Truman Capote lived on Paseo El Mirador for 16 years, working on Answered Prayers, an unfinished novel, while throwing some of the most celebrated dinner parties the desert had ever seen. Darrell F. Zanuck built what was known as the Desert Royal Palace on East Tamarack Road. Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio reportedly honeymooned here as well. When you buy in the Movie Colony, you are buying into a legacy that no new development can manufacture. That distinction has a very real relationship with long-term value. The Movie Colony speaks two architectural languages fluently, and somehow they coexist beautifully. The earliest homes were Spanish Colonial revival. Thick white stucco walls, red clay tile roofs, romantic enclosed courtyards, and wrought iron details built for the desert climate and glamorous entertaining. Then came the post-war era and the mid-century Modernism, which architects like E. Stewart Williams, William Cody, Donald Wexler, and Albert Frey leaving their marks across the neighborhood. Low-slung profiles, flat or butterfly roofs, and those signature walls of glass that dissolved the boundaries between an interior living room and an outdoor pool terrace. This is the aesthetic Palm Springs became internationally famous for, and the Movie Colony is where some of the finest examples still stand. What unifies both styles is the walled compound philosophy. Whether Spanish Colonial or mid-century modern, these homes prioritize privacy over curb presence. The life of each property unfolds inward, and what's beyond those walls is often extraordinary. The Movie Colony is one of Palm Springs' most premium and tightly held neighborhoods. As of mid-2025, the median sales price was approximately $3 million. Entry-level properties start north of $1.5 million, while larger architectural estates and historic compounds range from $3 million to over $6 million. Lot sizes are generous by Palm Springs standards, typically a third of an acre to over a full acre, and the neighborhood consists of approximately 170 homes total. When something comes to market here, it rarely lingers. One crucial detail worth understanding, the vast majority of the Movie Colony sits on fee simple land, meaning you own the land outright. This is not always the case in Palm Springs, where Indian lease lands add complexity and monthly payments that some buyers find surprising. In Movie Colony, that conversation is largely off the table, and that matters for both financing and long-term value. The Movie Colony sits in central Palm Springs, and its location is one of the great advantages. You're walkable to the Uptown Design District, boutiques, galleries, and some of the best restaurants in the desert. And downtown Palm Springs is equally accessible on foot. The fantasy of total seclusion doesn't require you to drive everywhere for coffee or dinner. Ruth Hardy Park acres the neighborhood. Copley's on Palm Canyon, a local favorite among the restaurant scene, is housed in what was originally Cary Grant's guest house. You can sit in the courtyard of a Spanish colonial estate that once belonged to one of Hollywood's most iconic figures and order dinner. That's not a gimmick, it's the real fabric of this place. And during Modernism Week each year, the Movie Colony becomes a focal point for architecture enthusiasts from around the world, with walking tours and exclusive events drawing visitors that no other neighborhood can match. Palm Springs has long been one of the most welcoming LGBTQ+ destinations in the world, and that reputation was built through decades of community, culture, and civic engagement. Today, nearly half of Palm Springs' full-time population identifies as LGBTQ+. This is not a city that tolerates diversity. It reflects it at every level of the civic and social life. The Movie Colony is highly sought after within the LGBTQ+ community because it combines the inclusive warmth of Palm Springs with privacy, prestige, and architectural distinction. You are close to the Arenas Road, the cultural heart of Palm Springs nightlife and social scene, while living in a neighborhood that offers real seclusion when you want it. For buyers relocating from bigger cities, the difference between Palm Springs and other desert destinations is significant. If you have any real desire to eventually make Palm Springs your home, the time to buy is not when you're ready to move. You can purchase the home now, rent it thoughtfully, let someone else help service the mortgage, let equity build quietly, and move in when life and timing align. The home will be there waiting for you. Part of doing that correctly is understanding Palm Springs' short-term rental landscape from the start. The city requires a vacation rental registration certificate and permit for any short-term rental, and there is a neighborhood cap of 20% of the total homes in a given area. With approximately 170 homes in the Movie Colony, that math gets specific quickly. This is the conversation we have at the very beginning of every client relationship, so that your investment strategy and lifestyle goals are aligned before you fall in love with a specific property. A couple of things tend to catch buyers off guard. The first is how quiet it is. You are 2 blocks from downtown Palm Springs, and inside the Movie Colony, you can barely hear any of it. The walls and hedges do their jobs respectively. The second is the distinction between the Movie Colony and the Movie Colony East. There are adjacent but meaningfully different neighborhoods. The original Movie Colony has larger walled estates, deeper history, and higher price points. Movie Colony East offers a more open suburban feel with visible front lawns and more accessible price points. Both are strong, but they are not interchangeable, and it's worth knowing which one you're actually considering. The Movie Colony works best for buyers who value architectural legacy, who find genuine meaning in the history of the place, and who want the freedom to live privately in the city that also offers a vibrant cultural life just blocks away. It makes the most sense for buyers thinking 5 to 10 years ahead. People will understand that a well-chosen home in a neighborhood like this holds value, appreciates over time, and offers a quality of life that simply has no equivalent in the desert. If you're sorting through Palm Springs neighborhoods based on how you actually want to live, not just what looks good on a map, I'm always happy to talk it through. People reach out to me every week who are thinking about buying now, relocating later, or quietly planning their next chapter. If that sounds like you, my contact information is in the description below. No pressure, just clarity when it's helpful. If you haven't yet already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more exciting changes, developments, and opportunities taking place here in Palm Springs and the Coachella Valley. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.